The mouse faced many challenges and choices.
That heroic mouse Mickey put things to right in Wasteland after the Mad Doctor's destructive chaos, but now a bunch of earthquakes have caused some serious paint thinner damage to the land. Oswald, the lucky rabbit, and his girlfriend Hortensia are struggling to keep things together, when suddenly the Mad Doctor returns.
Friends, 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 I stand before you a changed man. I've seen the error of my ways and now I've got a plan.
Hang on a second, Hex. Didn't that Mad Doctor blow up in the last game?
Yeah, I thought he did too, but look, anyway, he's back, and he claims to have changed his ways.
Oh, I love that Mad Doctor. Just like me, he loves to sing.
Help me, help you, there's a world I'm here to save. Help me find someone with a heart so true and brave.
And being a Disney production, it's very slick and polished as well. But what's really great about it is they've gone back to Disney's roots and used vintage art styles and original characters that many Spawnlings may never have seen before.
They still hold up though, don't they? That romance between Oswald and Hortensia is so cute, and Oswald makes for the perfect co-op companion. Worried that the Doctor might not hold up his end of the bargain, Oswald calls Mickey back to Wasteland to battle foes and paint the world back to its former glory. Oswald and Mickey together, which means you can play it with a friend.
Yes, the power of two means you can play this game with co-op, but it's only offline, only split screen. There's no online co-op, and I find that very disappointing. Split screen in co-op adventure games can often feel quite restrictive and tricky to maneuver if it's not handled correctly, and I think that's true of Epic Mickey. If you decide to go solo though, Oswald sticks around as an AI companion to help you with all your puzzling.
You'll have to redirect the current to get this thing operating again.
Yes, while Mickey can paint objects back into the environment or use thinner to remove them, Oswald has a remote-controlled electrical bolt that he can use to stun enemies and activate switches. Look, it's not the most useful tool really, but it does come in handy occasionally.
One thing I'm glad they improved here was the camera. It was frustrating and a little awkward in the first game, but here you barely have to adjust it at all. I was also glad the characters now speak.
Yes, it makes for a much more engaging story, doesn't it?
Hey there, pallies. Before you celebrate too much, you better get a load of this.
But let's talk about the gameplay. You'll paint your way through various locations throughout Wasteland, and your thinner will allow you access sometimes to certain secret areas, which is cool. But while the tutorials show you all these cool and interesting ways to use these painting tools, when it comes down to it in the actual game, you rarely use it for anything more than just filling in the blanks.
Yeah, it is a cool mechanic, but it's very underused, isn't it? I really liked it when you used a combination of paint and thinner to create platforms to jump across. I wish we could have seen more of that, and given this is a sequel, I expected them to explore these ideas a bit further.
I did quite enjoy that epic multi-stage dragon fight though. What an intense battle. Using paint as a weapon is handled relatively well, I think. Some enemies drop globs of thinner you have to steer clear of, and my favourite were those robots that have little creatures inside that you can turn friendly by painting them.
Darren, if we painted you, would you become friendlier?
Negative. No one's painting me. I'm already the perfect shade of metallic brilliance.
What's the name of your particular shade of metallic brilliance, Darren?
Oh, it's called Platinum Mist.
Another thing I wasn't really sold on was that weird fairy sketch device. What a gimmick. I mean, after that initial level where you have to use it to fix a pump, I barely touched it.
Yeah, it's such a shame because there are some really interesting ideas in this game, but they're all just a little undercooked. For the completists, there's some enjoyment to be had by collecting Disney pins and materials that you can trade for useful items, but mostly you're in for a relatively standard co-op adventure that you can play with a friend or a family member on the couch.
I mostly play this game on my own, and I found the AI controlling Oswald to be a little noobish. Often he'd get stuck in corners or get left behind, and sometimes I couldn't get the cooperative maneuvers to work correctly, like getting him to catch me for a glide across the map.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I had issues with that too, Darren. Where I thought this game really shined was in all its little in-between moments. To get around Wasteland, you'll travel underground, and these journeys take the form of 2D platforming levels, and I love a game that throws in some 2D platforming. These were probably the most enjoyable and most challenging parts of the whole game, particularly if you went for all those little chests and goodies.
Yeah, those were great, weren't they? And often the most innovative too. But personally, I hung out for the cutscenes. I thought they were hilarious and just well made.
Gosh, they look more than slightly dangerous to me. I think I'll just go ahead and use the pumps how Jamface told me.
But we should wrap this up. Final thoughts, Hex?
Well, there have been some definite improvements to this sequel, like that camera and the addition of voices, but it seems like with every positive there's a negative as well, like clumsy AI and no online co-op. I have to say, guys, I expected more. It's still a wonderfully cheerful adventure, though. I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I think if you're going to make a sequel, you know, they should have taken that core mechanic much, much, much further. It is good that it's got co-op now. I think that's the right path to go down, but even with the addition of move support to, you know, do the painting, I wasn't completely hooked on this, so I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.